بسم الله وبالله ومن الله وإلى الله وعلى الله وفي الله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be on the noblest of the prophets Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and all those who follow in righteousness to the day of reckoning. I take this opportunity to welcome you to another edition of Ramadan in 10 minutes on RAANOD TV. We are grateful to Allah for this opportunity. Indeed, by way of reminder about fasting in the month of Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ tells us about three people whose supplications are never rejected. One is the one who is fasting. One is the one who is fasting. So as we find ourselves in this month, let us be prayerful. Let us ask Allah all our needs. And inshallah, of course, there is no supplication that is rejected. Either you get it immediately or Allah will change it and take away some evil thing that should befall you, or you get what you request for in the hereafter. So as a matter of fact, no dua is rejected. Allah has promised us that we should call upon him, and if we do, he is going to answer us. By way of learning from the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his life, I want us to combine two virtues: good neighborliness, and then the fact that the Prophet also fought against discrimination. Discrimination on the basis of race, color. Discrimination on the basis of religion. Discrimination on the basis of sex. Realize that when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Medina was a multi-religious society. You had some people there who traditionally were like pagans. You had the Jews also there. And then the religion Islam that had come to stay. We are even told about delegations from the Christians who visited Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask questions, to make inquiries about Islam. And he tolerated them. He accommodated them. He even gave them a place in the masjid to rest. That should tell you the kind of person Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. That tolerant, that accommodating, that understanding, that peaceful. That is just on one leg. He fought against discrimination on the basis of sex. I'm a man, you are a woman. Because in the pre-Islamic days, when someone's wife gave birth to a baby girl, there was female infanticide, where these daughters were buried alive because they were quote unquote half human beings. They were not what the people wanted, yet they married women, yet they did not want to have daughters to become women for other men to marry in future. So Islam came to talk about all these things to the extent that Allah tells us in the Quran, whether you are a male or you are a female, and you do that which is right, you have your reward with Allah. The fact that you are a female will not lead to a denial of your reward if you do that which is right. And the fact that you are a male will not absolve you from punishment if you do that which is wrong. Then on the basis of race, where people were discriminated against, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam delivered what is known as his farewell sermon, he said something. He said, all of you are children of Adam. The Arab is not superior to the non-Arab. So is the non-Arab not superior to the Arab. The one who has a fair color is not superior to the one who has a dark color. And the one who has a dark color is not superior to the one who has a fair color. All of you are the children of Adam. And the best of you all, like Allah stated in the Quran, is on the basis of your piety. That is even before we had the United Nations in 1948. So Islam has corrected these things and has spoken against these things, where people are discriminated against on the basis of race, where people are discriminated against on the basis of sex, on the basis of religion. Now even go to Europe and the Americas. Sometimes during football matches, you hear and see people making racial chants and derogatory remarks against some players just because of their color. Islam has spoken against this several years ago, more than 1,445 years ago. And then the other aspect I quickly want to touch on before we run out of time is good neighborliness, where the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said through his wife Aisha radiallahu anha that he said, Jibril alayhi salam has continuously recommended to me to be kind to my neighbor, that I even had the fear that Jibril alayhi salam will say, my neighbor should inherit me upon my death. That should tell you how good neighborliness is seen as far as Islam is concerned. In yet another tradition, the Prophet ﷺ said, anyone who believes in Allah and the last day, let him be kind to his neighbor. And anyone who believes in Allah and the last day, he should be what? Hospitable to his guest. And the one who believes in Allah and the last day, let him say that which is good or remain silent. This is very profound. Three things. The one who believes in Allah and the last day, let him be kind to his neighbor. Secondly, the one who believes in Allah and the last day, let him be hospitable to his guests. If you have visitors, treat them kindly. Let's go into our homes. I'm a tenant in your house, and look at the way you treat me. You are a tenant in my house, and look at the way I treat you. Even at the end of the year, at the end of the month, I am going to pay my rent. So are you going to pay? So on the day of judgment, you and I, like the accounts will say, you are assembled upon. We have a lot to say before Allah, because we have not lived by the moral standards of Islam as the Prophet has recommended. And the one who believes in Allah and the last day, let him say that which is good, or let him remain silent. That is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. May Allah bless us to live by these teachings and showcase it to the non-Muslims, so that it will be